What's up, everyone? Postmates Paul. Today we're going to be talking about the dangers of delivering to West Side Chicago. Stay tuned. If this is your first time to my channel and you want to grow, be a better delivery driver, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. You won't miss any of my awesome content. So I was perusing a Reddit post, and a driver basically just said, beware of West Side Chicago. And they had let me know that an attempted robbery had occurred with, well, I guess I'm getting a little forward here. So the gentleman claimed that he got a yogurt order and he had to deliver it like 7 miles away to West Side Chicago in pretty much the same area where a couple of robberies had gone down. So he thought it was a little weird that it was just yogurt. And apparently when he got there, he was surrounded by a gang known as the Vice Lords. He was surrounded by 8 Vice Lords. He threw the yogurt out the window or something, and then he drove off. A couple of people on the article were claiming that it was a lie because the original poster on Reddit did not want to create a police report, which is a little weird if you're going to be robbed. They actually said in the post that when he pulled up, someone opened up his trunk and started trying to go through it, and he had to like drive off and stuff. Anyway, it's a possibility that this could be a lie because there was no official police report, so it's all hearsay at this point. I think I've learned my lesson not to park next to a cart trolley at Walmart to record a video. So of course this Redditor could be lying, and if that's the case, that sucks. But he linked to an article of an area. Let me just get on my screen recorder. It'll be a little bit easier. Let me activate it. Now, this is a real article, something that happened back in February of this year. The Chicago PD started noticing that there was a string of robberies for food delivery drivers robbed on the southwest side, and I actually had a list that I wanted to give you that's on this. So as you can see here, between mid-January and early February, the 4 had occurred 3 times on the 4400 block of South Laverne, and 1 time on the 4500 block of South Laverne. But it seems to me like they may have been trying to split it up or something, because it sounds like it's all pretty localized by all the same group of people. This actually opened up a whole nother layer, because this is nothing new to Chicago. It looks like, whereas maybe on my side, LA and all that, we're getting scammed by people trying to pretend they're tech support. Here they're actually getting robbed, and it's actually pretty dangerous. So I started looking back, and I see that, drivers are being, look at all these stories, something 5 years ago, up until just within the last month. And I think I saw something for like 7 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. 3 months, 3 years. That's something different. But, and as you can see here, the Chicago Tribune, reported on this like 7 years ago. This was happening, and it's happening now. So this is going to be an ongoing thing. Yeah, I need to make this very clear. I have been in a precarious situation where I thought I was going to be the victim of being like a carjacking robbery, and I just had to play it smart. Know what areas in your town are not the safest. I've actually looked at Crime Watch before, Crime Watch Report. Just Google like criminal activity in my neighborhood, and it'll have you put in your zip code, and it'll literally show your area, the different kind of crimes that are occurring in different areas. That's a good indicator way to know what neighborhoods are probably best to stay out of. But if you're a local, you should know what neighborhoods you probably shouldn't be going into, what neighborhoods are going to be a higher risk for you as a delivery driver or a rideshare driver. Just be careful. It scares me because, having been in that situation, just know this, that if you have someone, if you ever think you're going into a really bad spot, the first thing I like to do is honestly screenshot your delivery address, send it to someone that you can trust, and type a text message. If you don't hear back from me in 7 minutes, call the police. And once you arrive, hit that nobody available immediately. And remember that, like, your car is a weapon. You can get it in drive, get it moving, you know, lock the doors, call the police, do what you got to do. I don't know. I mean, Chicago, I know the turnaround time I've heard the turnaround time in Chicago is like 45 minutes to an hour for police to actually arrive if, like, it's not like an actual shooting or something. So, you know, you got to be safe out there and be very conscientious of where you are and what you're doing. I saw this and I let me get out of this screen here real quick. But like I said, you know, when I was thinking that I was going to be carjacked, I screenshot where I was, sent it to my fiance, said, if you don't hear back from me in 7 minutes, that was actually right when I arrived. I said, call the police, send them here, tell them that I've been carjacked. Like, straight up, I said that. And she waited till like 5 minutes later, and she's like, where are you? I was like, oh, I'm already driving away. The person never came down. They kept questioning what kind of car I had. And they sounded like they were on drugs. They were like drawling, like, I'll do my best impersonation. I'm not giving you my apartment number. What kind of car you driving? So that person asked me like 3 times my year, make, and model and trim package. Like, I'm like, you're way too messed up on heroin to care this much about identifying my car. And I was even saying, like, I'm standing outside my car, outside your apartment complex. Give me your apartment number. And they refused to give me the apartment number. So that was really questionable right then. At that moment, I jumped back in my car. I actually locked the door. I hit nobody available. And I literally ran the timer out and kept talking to her. And she started saying, like, my boyfriend's coming out. You better wait around and all this stuff. After she had time to, I feel like, research my car. That's just what I was feeling. If you feel those red flags inside, that's your experience talking. Just listen to it, and I'm not afraid to drive away if I think I'm gonna be in trouble. Like, if you're in immediate danger, I don't want you to like sit there and hit the nobody available and think you got to get robbed for 5 minutes before you can leave. Hit canceled and eat, like in that instance, a yogurt. Eat their yogurt and drive the frick off and explain to Postmates. Now, speaking of Postmates' role in this, in case you guys ever do go through something similar to this. So I had a similar issue where I reported what I thought was going to be a robbery on my part, and Postmates never replied to me. I sent it to the safety board. We have a safety board, and they never got back to me. Apparently in this situation, this latest one, Postmates is not getting back to the driver either, but a lot of people are finding loopholes in that story. But I thought it was kind of weird that if you submitted a case and you replied to the email, and if Postmates isn't responding to like you having an attempted robbery, that's kind of scary. That's one of my big complaints, is that sometimes I feel like we're not supported unless it's to benefit Postmates. So yeah, I really hope that if these things are going down, Postmates is taking it very seriously, and I hope they're listening to this right now. I hope that they are blacklisting these accounts, reporting them to the police, doing whatever, because yeah, that's terrifying for us as a driver. So to all my followers, to anyone who's watching this video, just make sure if you're delivering to the west side of Chicago, just know your area and know the dangers that come with that. If you see anything that's going into a bad neighborhood, just skip the order completely. It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. And as a pro tip, if you ever switch your means of transportation from automobile to motorcycle, which I'm not recommending at all. I'm not recommending to do that. But if you do that, I would definitely recommend, if you have a bad neighborhood like West Side Chicago, you'd be able to see that if it's like a small French fry going into a bad neighborhood, maybe you can make a more conscientious decision as opposed to as if it was like a lobster dinner, maybe going to the Ritz-Carlton or something, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to start driving for Postmates, I'm going to give you my code right now. If you want to start driving for Postmates, then go ahead and just use my code right here. Or likewise, in every single one of my videos, you can click the link to get signed up using my code, and they'll let you know what the bonus is at the time of signing up. This shows me a ton of support, and you don't have to pay for any monthly Patreon or anything like that. You just get a bonus for doing some deliveries, make some money. It helps me out, and I continue making great content. So thank you for supporting me, and I'll see you on the road.
Que ondas muchacho, arriba las manos, caballo moreno, penetra tu barrio. Te enseño a rolas de rock, back frente.